Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. This is a yarn and crochet channel where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet, so if that interests you, please sit back and watch this video because today, my friends, I have another session of Caking It with Juan. So this is a cake from one of the last sessions, and it has all the colors in it. I think the only color that we're repeating here is the black, but every other color here is a different color. And there's no rhyme, no reason. I literally change the color when I decide it's time to change the color. And it's so good. So what I'm doing is I am pulling my leftover yarns. So none of the yarns that I'm using this with or for are new. So I have a basket full of yarns here, and these are my leftovers from all of the whips that I've been working on. And so I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them on the ball winder, and we're going to do all the things. So one of my signature moves with these cakes is I put black on the outside, and I've been calling them sushi yarn scrap cakes, and I don't know why, but I just decided to call it that. So that's what we're running with, friends. So we're going to do that, but then also there's a twist to our little session today, because I don't just want to make this every single time you see me. I also want to cake up some vintage yarns. So I have a bunch of vintage variegated yarns that I am dying to cake up because I want to work with it. They're so good. Look at all the colors. I mean, it's so good, okay? And then also too, we have some skeins here that have ripped labels and things, and I think it would just look better caked up in a tray. So we're gonna go through all of that. So you're gonna have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So that actually is gonna make up all the things. So let's go ahead and put that away. Let's put this over here and let's grab some yarn and get started. So, whoops. The balls are running all over the place. So anyway, let's start off with this. And if you've seen my other sessions, I actually like to do a slip knot when I start my caking situations. So I just do that. And then I put it on the ball winder like so, like that. So you can see that there. And then I funnel it through like that. And then we go nice and slow just to get that all secured. And technically, I should be using a yarn bowl, which I have one right here. Oh wait, look at the lid, guys. It's so good. Juan the Yarn Addict, the Yarn Talk, and all the things. So, yep, that was sent to me in Happy Mail. I treasure all the things. Let me just put this in here. We're going to use this yarn bowl. So, there we go. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay. So again, I don't put much on for each color. I like to spread the wealth. I want this yellow to go into many cakes, right? Even though there's a little bit here, I can spread it among, I don't know, 6 or 7 different cakes. So I twist about 8 or 9 times. That looks to be about it. And then I'm going to trim it. Just like that. I'm going to sit this back down here, and we're going to go with a contrasting color. Actually, friends, I'd rather not use the bowl. So let's 86 that idea. Okay. And there are many ways to tie these knots, friends. Okay. I'm keeping it simple. I'm doing the knot very, very basic. I just make the knot. That's it. I just make the knot. And then I also leave the tail here in case I decide, you know what, I want to do a different kind of knot. So I'm leaving it on there. Because for all I know, this might actually go to someone in Happy Mail or a prize giveaway, and they may not like my kind of knot. So I leave it like that so they can change it later on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're going to cut it again. There's a lot of cutting. There's a lot of knotting. That's okay. Because the more your color changes, the more spectacular your project looks. I'll show you some examples later on. So I have yellow, we have purple. Let's do something unexpected. Let's do ivy green. Ivy green. Who'd have thunk? Purple and green. So again, just a basic knot, nothing special, nothing to write home about. We're just putting it on there for the sake of putting it on there, you know. Depending on who gets this, they may sit here and unknot all of my knots to make magic knots or, you know, whatever knot they like. And I like that for them. But for me, that serves the best purpose, just like that. Okay, so let's trim that. And let's change over to light blue. So the only way that these cakes get done quickly is if I move fast, right? So if I'm trying to perfect my knot and do it like super fast, it's going to take me time. I haven't really perfected the knot. And I like that for me. I'm good. You know, it's for the house. Well, not everything's for the house, I was told recently, but it's okay. Some things don't have to be for the house, you know? But I like that my things are for the house. I can't help it. It cracks me up sometimes. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Okay. So how many color changes so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 color changes in less than 3 minutes. I love that for us. It's all the things. I like this blue. This is Loops and Threads blue. And you guys know this about me if you've watched my channel. You know how much I love Loops and Threads Soft Classic. It's a nice full 4-weight yarn. It's so nice. I just love it. And surprisingly so, friends, I want to tell you something that might surprise you. I really like Big Twist yarn from Joann's. The Big Twist, with their back-to-back sales going on the way that it has been, I can't help myself but to buy Big Twist yarn, right? So this is Big Twist white, and it's not as thick as Loops and Threads Soft Classic. It's a regular 4-weight yarn, but there's a secret to this that it's not, I'm not reinventing the wheel, I promise. But when you work 2 of these together with a 7mm crochet hook, you get a whole bunch of squish. Like, it is very squishy and it's snuggly and it's not heavy, it's light, it's fluffy. My friends, it's all the things. If you have this in your house, Big Twist, grab 2 colors, make yourself a little swatch and squeeze it. And I promise you, I'm not steering you in the wrong direction. It is super soft. Now on my channel, I made a baby blanket and a regular size blanket, doubling up Big Twist yarns for my friend Allie and her baby Luna. If you look, it's earlier on in my channel history. Well, when Allie and Luna got those blankets, they, to this day, they still can't stop talking about how soft that blanket is. And all I did was run 2 of these yarns together. So I highly recommend that you try that. Even if it's just a swatch, try it. I think you'll like it. Who knows? You may have already tried it, and you may be sitting there agreeing with me 1000%. I like to think things like that in my head, like you're sitting there nodding. You're like, yes, Juan, we tried that. We've done all that. You're right. I love it. Anyway, so now I lost track of how many color changes we've had, friends, but you know what? This is going to be one great cake. I'm going to tell you that right now. If this were for me, I will tell you right now that this would definitely be part of my quarter panel project, because I love how these colors are changing from light to dark to this to that. Now, one of the yarns that I have not put on here yet is a variegated yarn. I don't know if you noticed, but every cake that I make has at least one colorway of variegated yarn. So it's just my homage, my little bow to the variegated yarn family, because I'm a huge fan of variegated yarns. If you've been following me, you know that about me. And the reason is because I like to be challenged by color. So I like to look at the color within the yarn and say to myself, how can I complement these colors to make this look more amazing than it already does? Because let's be honest, friends, if you're into the blues and the purples and the mermaid colors, this is your jam right here. So my thought process goes, what can I add to this to make this amazing, right? So that's one of the reasons why I like it. And then the other reason is because when I make my scrap cakes, I throw the most odd color in front of and behind the variegated yarns. Don't ask me why, I just do. I love that for me. I like watching it being worked up. I have some examples, I'll share them with you in just a second. My quarter panels, I have this very bizarre variegated yarn in front of and behind, you know, other colors. And even I, to this day, I'm looking at it, I'm like, Juan, why did you do that? That makes no sense. But I wasn't thinking when I made it in the first place. So, you know, I love that for me. Anyway, the only downside to this loops and thread, this is loops and thread multi-yarn, and it is thinner. Their multi-yarns are thinner than their soft classics by a mile. But it's nice to look at, it's nice to work up, but it's horrible when you wind it like a ball. I mean, it is ridiculous. It doesn't stay together. Maybe it's how I rolled it too. User error. User error. I love it. Okay, so let's move that off. We're about halfway. Listen, friends, I pack this until it starts to hit on the pole here. We're going to continue going. We're going to do all the things, right? And I have this bizarre color here. It's not bizarre. It's mustard. It's mustard. Let me see. What am I doing here with this? Okay. Let me figure out the things with this. Excuse me. I want to add mustard to this because it's just a very unexpected color to use with this. So why not, right? So someone asked me recently, Juan, what is making you do these scrap cake videos and things? Well, my answer to that is if you have been around me long enough, you know that I am constantly crocheting and I am constantly coming up with these little balls, and they sit in a bin and I don't know what to do with them other than make scrap projects, right? So why not amp it up? Why work these projects and say, okay, well, I'm going to make a granny blanket and I'm going to use all the colors that I've shown you here, right? I'm going to use all these colors, but I'm going to just change it and leave it in this small little ball. No, we're going to turn it up. Let's go ahead and make our own scrap cakes randomly and let the yarn do all of the talking, right? And so it's had such a positive response. A lot of people love this, and many other people have actually started doing this. And I love that for them, because you and I already know that when we make scrap projects, we're letting it run until it runs out. But why not cut it off and add something else and then come back with it and just make it all kinds of interesting, you know? So that's kind of the purpose behind why I do what I do. So yeah, why not? Who would have thunk mustard behind a multi? I mean, I would never pair these two together, but we're doing that today. We're doing it today, friends. Look at that. Mustard right after that multi yarn situation. And I actually previously caked this up. This was a former cake. This is Premier's $1.25 yarn from Dollar Tree. Love it. Love that yarn. Okay, that's enough. I like it, but not that much. Not with this. Okay, so let me do another color. I'm trying to not do any repeats with this cake. We're going to see how many times we change over without repeating. I have blue up here, but this is a darker blue than the blue that's there. So we're good. That one was a royal blue. This is a dark blue. So that's good. Now, full disclosure, the cakes that I use on my quarter panels, if you've noticed, they have no black in them. If I don't put black on my cakes, I keep them for myself. The ones that I put black around, those are for giveaways, they're for gifts. Yeah, they're not for me. And it's not that I don't like them, I love them actually. But I want other people to have a great experience with these cakes. And so far, everyone who's had these cakes enjoys them. So I love that. So we went from blue to gray. And I think today, we're only going to do one of these scrap cakes because I want to get into the vintage variegated yarns. I definitely want to start caking those up. I have been working a project behind the scenes with the vintage variegated yarns, and it's nothing exclusive to a point where I have to hide it or anything, but I prefer to work these yarns out of cakes because I keep everything in cake trays and I can see the color stories and figure out things. It's just easier for me in terms of organization. So instead of fishing through boxes to find the color that I need, I cake it up, I sit it in trays, I stack the trays, and I can literally move like 36 cakes of vintage variegated yarns in stacks of trays. So it makes sense for me in my head. Oh, I love that for me. Guess what, friends? I'm going to put another variegated yarn. Look at this. Isn't that nice? Loops and threads. I can't remember the name for the life of me, but I do know that it's loops and threads. So there's that. So we're going to do that. I had a viewer, a subscriber from the UK, reach out to me and say, Juan, your caking videos, you're caking it with coffee, just caking videos, are one of my favorites. And I'm like, really? That's great. I love that. And she said, it's not because of you. She said, it's because of the ball winder. I love watching that thing go around and around and around. It's so good. I love it. And I'm like, well, I love that for you. I'll try and do more. And so, yeah, that was the whole thing. I loved it. So anyway, we're not going to get far with this one, I don't think. Well, maybe we are. Okay. You see what I mean? It's not easy. These multi-yarns from Loops and Threads, they're very catchy, but they work up beautifully. I just wish they were a little thicker, a little more meat on the bones. You know what I mean? So anyway, there's that. What else? What other color haven't we used yet? I'm not seeing enough white in here. It's very dark, right? It's very dark in the center there. We need to lighten that up. To me, we need to do some work on that. So let's see. Do I have any lighter colors? I have yellow, but that would be a repeat. I have white, but that would also be a repeat. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to repeat this one, friends. Actually, no, we're not. We have some of that varsity orange, but here is the neon orange. So there you go. There's that. And I have another yellow. So we have this bright yellow that we started with, but I have some butter, Loops and Threads butter. It's this top row right here. I'm going to be putting that on there. So that's great. We're going to do that. I'm telling you, I one time stayed up until like 3 in the morning doing scrap cakes. This is addicting. Like just mixing hodgepodges of colors and enjoying the process, because whether the camera's on or not, friends, I still talk and say all the things, right? It's just that now I have purpose. There's someone actually watching me. So that's fun. But yeah, I'm up until like 3 o'clock in the morning making these scrap cakes, and it is so much fun. I love doing it. I love challenging myself by not allowing myself to repeat any colors. And sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but that's okay because I like the process. So let me go ahead and put some butter on here. I have some butter yarn. I'm just going to tie that on here very quickly. There we go. Love it. Look at that. So good. So good. Okay, what other color have we not used? We have heathered yarn. Look at that. You see that? This is Hirschner's heathered yarn. It's like the worsted 8, but the heathered version. Love that. It works up so nice. That Hirschner's yarn is so good. Worsted 8. I think it's like $4.87 for one of those, you know, skeins, the 8 ounces, worth every penny. I'm telling you. If you have, I mean, it works up so good. It doesn't matter what you're working up. The stitch definition is good. It's great. I love it. So let me just go ahead and get all this in here. There we go. Okay. Love that. Now I'm going to put gray in here. A light gray. Because we've already had the slate gray. So, come on. Come on. All right. So, let's do this. Now, I will tell you, I have about 12 left of these. And I'm putting them in bags of 2, and I'm stacking them and I'm packing them for like replay giveaways and just random like Happy Mail and things like that. I encourage you guys, you know, if there's something that you want to do something, like if there's something that you want to do for someone else in the name of kindness, you know, I am doing a Kindness Matters 2024 movement, and something as simple as making scrap cakes for another crocheter or knitter is just amazing. Like that random act of kindness, you know, we all crochet, we all knit. So to get something like this to work with is, you know, something that could be used towards that movement. So, you know, if you find yourself making scrap cakes, feel free to use the hashtag. You know, I would love to see it, in the name of kindness, of course. And let's see, we're at the end here. No, I think I can put more on there. So let's do lavender. So I think what I'm going to do is randomly send these cakes to people in the name of kindness, and just because, you know, if I know that you crochet or knit and you love all kinds of yarn, you love all the things, I'm probably going to eventually send you some of these scrap sushi cakes. And I hope that you enjoy them and that you make all the things with them. So I can't promise every single person one, but who knows, one of these days you might find it in your mailbox. Because I think everyone should have them. I already have yellow. So let's see. I want to add more colors to this. Ooh, we haven't done red yet. Let's do red. We love a good red, right? We love a good red. So I've been on this red kick lately. I don't know why. I think part of it has to do with the fact that people tell me I look nice in red. But yeah, I've been on this red kick. I'm making a top with Stanley cake, muffin tweed in red. I haven't shown it yet, but I am working on it, and it's working up great. One of these days, I will sit here and do a Whipping It with Juan session showing you guys that project, but we're not there yet. Let me just put the rest of this red on. So there we have that. The cake is getting nice and plump. Love that for us. Okay, do we have this? I can't see it. So therefore it is. It's going on here. Out of sight, out of mind, right, friends? So there is that. Whoops. So that noise, people have asked me plenty of times about that. They said, Juan, is it broke if it makes that noise? No, it's not broken at all. Actually, I have the yarn wrapped around my table. There's a gear inside. It just hops over the gear. So it's not that it's breaking. It's the weight of the cake. It's causing it to like pop, you know what I mean? So I think after the purple, I'm gonna go ahead and do black. Yeah, because this is a nice thick cake. It's a nice thick cake. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. And then again, after this cake, we're gonna hop over to the vintage variegated yarns. So I'll show you the things and we'll talk about it. And then of course we will cake it up. So those will go a lot faster because I am not cutting, splicing, I'm not doing any of the things. Not like this. Now I like a nice thick coat of the black on the outside. I don't like any of the color to show here, so I'm gonna keep going until that is solid black. And hopefully, yeah, I have plenty of yarn to do this with. I'm surprised that I did an entire scrap cake without a yarn bowl or a box or a whip basket to sit the yarn in, because normally I need that. Are we solid yet? Not yet. We're not solid yet. We're almost solid. We're now touching, we're now hitting this. That bar that I was telling you about, we're now hitting it. So it's time to stop. So let's go ahead and pull out a tail about yay big. Let me just get all of the loosey-gooseys around here. Just like this, like so, like that. You guys know this. I love these cakes. Okay, so I'm just wrapping it around. I'm doing the things. Okay, so I'm just tying it nice and tight. And then now I'm gonna pull the cake off and do the things. Okay, there we go. Okay, so aesthetics, I mean, I do need to touch it up a little bit to make it look a little nicer, you know, but all in all, right? It's nice. Love that for us. Okay, so scrap cakes, done. We did it. Yay for us. Looks so good. Nice and thick and plump. And they're, see, I made this one thicker than this one. See, that's always been my thing. Like, I will keep going, but I'm like, did I go too far? Did I not go far enough? But that's fine, you know? It's fine. We love that. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop on over to the vintage variegated yarns. Let me just get my yarn situated here very quickly. Okay, so I have some yarn here, friends, that is vintage, that was sent to me in Happy Mail, and I could not be happier that I have them. We will work with this today, okay? Again, I need to do this because I'm working a project behind the scenes that involves all of the vintage variegated yarns. I do see one in here that is not vintage, but that's okay. They are discontinuing it, by the way. Actually, I think they did discontinue this one. This looked like artist print, but it's not artist print. That's why I said that. This is Monet. This looks just like the artist print that's currently at Joann's. They are discontinuing that. At least that's what I've seen. If you go on their app right now and you go into like Red Heart Variegated and you scroll down, they have a section there that is all of their discontinued or their clearanced yarn, and the artist print is in there. So, but this is Monet, so this is discontinued. This here is a blast from the past, the 90s, Day Glow. Maybe early 2000s, I think. It's been a while since I've seen this. Yeah, probably early 2000s, I think. So there's that. And then, of course, we have this. This is shaded browns. We love that. So a lot of the vintage yarns, they didn't have all of the information. Fortunately for us, they're on here. So this particular skein is 244 yards, 223 meters. It is a medium 4-weight yarn. They suggest a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. And we are going to cake this one up first. So I'm going to move all of this out of the way. We're going to jump right into it. I think I want to do this one second. This is Sedona. That's so awesome. I'm going to set that right there. Just because. Just because. All right, let me get in there. See, why does it have to be so difficult to find the center? You know what I mean? I'm going to have yarn barf. I feel it in my bones, friends. Look. No matter which way I sliced that cake, we were going to have yarn barf. Where are you? And then trying to find it without making the situation worse. That's the challenge of the day, right? So part of the battle is just finding the center. Where's the starting point? And it does feel a little different than what I'm used to in today's Red Heart yarns. I'm impartial to the vintage yarns. I feel like the yarns of yesteryear feel good to me. I do know that they were made differently back then, and I do know that a lot of people prefer the way that they're made now, but me, I like it the way they used to make it. That's just my personal preference. I like everything. I love all the yarn, but my personal preference, the older, the better. So that is that. And eventually, friends, the yarns that we have now will be vintage, and people will be saying what I'm saying right now in the future. Just think like 20 years from now, someone will be sitting in front of some sort of electronic device of that particular time saying the same thing. Like, oh yeah, back in 2024, they made this yarn and it's so vintage. Look at all those colors. Oh my goodness. What were they thinking? You and I both know they're going to say that, right? It's so crazy how time flies. And before you know it, the yarns that we think are hip and in and on trend are now like vintage and a thing of the past. But also too, I think that trends come back. So, you know, once it leaves, it doesn't stay gone forever. You know, it comes back and then we talk about it as if it was just yesterday. And before you know it, here we are making similar projects that were made back in the 70s and in the 80s. And so this cycle just keeps repeating itself. So that's why I always stay with the vintage books, the vintage patterns, because it's coming back. All of that stuff comes back. A lot of the patterns that you see out there now are just regurgitated images, slightly different, more tasteful, of those from back in the day. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and finally put this to bed. I did not expect to sit here and fuss with yarn barf, but you know what? When there's a will, there's a way, my friends. I finally found the end that I was looking for. Through all of this, I found it right here. It took all the things for me to find it, but I found it. I win, they lose. It's so good. I just now have to figure out a way to get all of this situated and sorted. I mean, I've already committed myself to this, friends. I mean, I could just literally pick this up and just sit it over here and just forget about it until the cameras are off, but no. We're going to sit here and figure this out because I need to cake this yarn up because I love these brown shades. It goes very, very, very nicely with aubergine, the dark deep purples and the dark midnight blues. Yes. And how do I know that? Because I use the color wheel. So you have primary, tertiary, secondary colors, and on that color wheel, it tells you what colors complement other colors. And brown pairs very nicely with purples and blues. So there's that. I have a knot. I'm trying to get it out, friends. We'll get there. Okay. I got it. I win. I think of it as like a video game. Different levels. Each pile of knot is a different level in the video game. I can't help it. It's the only way that helps me get through this. Because otherwise, I mean, I would be sitting here very frustrated and like, someone come do this for me, please. But no, we are going to make all of the things happen with this. And I am almost done. I just have to get this one little section out and we are going to do it. Bam. Told you guys, see? Okay, I found another level. Is that it? Is that the only level? Yes. Okay, this is the only one. Oof, man. Okay, we're doing the things, friends. Okay. Do we have this? Yes, we do. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do a slip knot, like so, like that. Go on here like that. Feed it through. Okay. Nice and slow. If I go too fast, all the spaghetti will knot up. So I have to go nice and slow. Now see, I think this yarn will work up amazing in a moss stitch in the round. Like if I did a moss stitch blanket in a rectangle or even a square, this would look amazing because of how often the color changes and the way it lays. Okay, now I can go to town. I love this for us. It's so good. Okay. The fibers that are in the air, my friends. It's so good. So with this particular skein, I can't really tell you exactly when they discontinued this. It has a barcode on the skein, so it wasn't that long ago that they discontinued this. But I will tell you that the colors that are in this skein are still sold separately, like the latte, like the Aran, like the espresso. All of that is still on the shelves today in the big box stores. But the combination of those colors are no longer sold. You'll find them on like eBay, Macari, places like that, but you won't find this just in the store. And especially this Sedona, you're not finding that anywhere. I mean, well, yes, you'll find it on eBay, but it's difficult to find it. Let me just, okay. I always wonder how long skeins actually sit before they're used. You know, like some of the skeins that I have in my house now have been sitting in skein form for decades. And so that outer layer there is like a shell, you know, and when I go to wind it up, it's almost like I have to peel it apart. I find that fascinating. Like, wow, this stayed intact for all those decades, and I am the one who gets to separate it. It's so good. My ball winder is being fussy with this fussy yarn. It's not going without a fight. It's like, I don't want to be caked up. Well, it's being caked up, right? So there's that. So I am thinking after this one, we'll do the Sedona, and depending on how much time we have left, we may go into another cake, but I have a feeling that because the brown shades are giving us such issues, we may only get to the Sedona, which is fine. So that just leaves the other yarns for future sessions. I love that. I love that for us. Okay. So I have a feeling this may be a little tricky just because this outer layer here of this skein, I know you can't really see it, but it's not laying pretty. It's very fussy looking. Like, you know, there's a knot sitting underneath that layer somewhere. I'm just waiting for it to come out. I'm telling you, like, I can look at this and just know. I know that it's going to do the things. All right. So I just want to get through this skein, get to the Sedona, because the Sedona is laying very nice and neat. See that outside? You can tell that's been sitting in a box, nice and neat, hasn't been played with. It's so good. So I'm just looking forward to getting through this one, getting the Sedona done, and hopefully adding this to the project. Now, people have been asking me, when are we going to see the project? Well, listen, this particular project won't be seen until it's done, because I'm not even counting it as a whip, right? It's, I'm calling it secret side piece. So I have a few of those secret side pieces. So this secret side piece is just something that I have to the side. It's not officially a project. It's just something that I pick up and put down when the mood strikes. I'm not forcing myself to any deadlines with it, because I'm just thoroughly enjoying the yarn, right? I'm a yarn addict. So part of what my whole thing is just enjoying the yarn and playing with the colors. And, you know, I have a yarn obsession. So this helps fuel that. All right, so this skein is done. So I'm going to wrap this around and tuck it under, just like this, and pull nice and tight. I call it like the seat belt. It's so good. The seat belt. Okay, so there we have it. So nice, so good. This actually looks like Peaches and Cream, the chocolate milk colorway that I made my Chunky Monkey Market mesh bag in. That's what this looks like. It's so good. It's all the things. Okay. But this is a lot softer. I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry. I had to tell you guys about it. Okay, so this is Sedona. This is Red Heart Classic. This is a medium 4-weight yarn. They suggest a 5.5mm crochet hook. It is machine washable and dryable. And there's only 146 yards in this. It's 3 ounces at 85 grams. This is such a little skein. This is a baby skein. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, why so little? I don't know. Anyway, so this whole entire time that I have been recording, I have my entire official Yarn Addict team behind me, and they are watching me record this. So yeah, I love this for them, because I wanted them to see what it was like to record one of these sessions. Now, because of the camera that I'm using, there's no pause feature. So what you're seeing is unedited. This is how it is, right? But I use another software that allows me to pause and to erase and all that. This time it's one straight shot. So I've been secretly crossing my fingers, hoping that nothing would go wrong. And so far, I think it's going okay. I think, you know. Thank goodness I have almost 400 videos on my channel. So I have the practice under my belt, you know, but I still get a little ruffled, you know. I'm like, ugh. But anyway, we're on Sedona. We're gonna cake all of this up into the things, you know. It's so good. And yeah, so behind the camera is my computer, and yeah, everyone's sitting back there watching me do this. And I'm sure that they'll be able to verify in the comments of this video that they were there and they got to watch the whole entire thing. They saw me set up the shop, they saw me cake everything up, and then they'll be able to see me shut everything down. So yeah, it's part of the process of becoming an official yarn addict. You know, you get to see behind the scenes, you get to hang out with us. Now, this particular Zoom session, I came on early because I wanted company, right? Because normally my Zoom times are always the same, but I decided to come on earlier because I wanted company. That was 4 hours ago. So I just wanted to hang out, and they wanted to hang out, and it's all the things. So if you're considering on the memberships, this level here is the official Yarn Addict tier. I do have another one. It's called a fellow Yarn Addict tier, where in that tier you just support the channel and you come to members only lives and things. But the top tier, I only have 2 tiers. The top tier is all the things tier. So anything involving my channel, you are made privy to. In addition to that, you get a free pattern every single month. What happens is I drop a coupon in the community tab, and you submit that coupon to my team of people who actually will then send you your pattern, and you get 1 free a month. So there's that, and then you get the Zoom calls, which are nice. So yeah, friendships happen, friends. So I've created this little community that I'm so proud of. We hang out, we talk. I've become friends with all of them. I love every single one of them, and I feel their support as well. So if that interests you, feel free to sign up. We would love to have you. And also too, if that's not your thing for whatever reason, that's fine. I do have a Facebook group. It's called Juan the Yarn Addict and Friends. We are 3,300 strong at this point, and we share our makes. If you like to crochet or knit or do anything with yarn, and you have something you want to show off, come join. There's 4 questions that you answer, and the admin team will let you in, and then you just share your makes. It's a very positive place. We enjoy each other's company, and it's so much fun. So this is Sedona. Now see, this label here is intact. It looks nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it like this, and I'm going to fold it like this again. I'm going to sit it right here on the cylinder, but first I'm going to get this off. I'm going to sit this on here like this, and then I'm going to slide the cake off and leave that on the inside. And it stays in there like that. So if I ever forget like what the name of the cake is, the colorway or whatever, I can just pull that out and look. So there's that. Okay. So my friends, I believe we have concluded our session. We caked up some things, friends. We did scrap cakes. We did vintage variegated yarns and things. So listen, if you enjoyed this as much as I think you did, please hit the like button. They're free, the thummies. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And of course, hit that notification bell to stay updated with everything regarding me and my channel. That is it for this one, my friends. And until the next one, take care, friends. Bye.